What's up guys, LA Gamer here, and today I am bringing you guys episode 3 of my St. Louis Rams rebuild series on Madden 16. Really excited. If you guys remember the last episode, we had a great rookie draft, and a pretty solid offseason to fill some of the holes primarily in the offensive line. I think that all went really well, so let's into the next week. Let's see what we can do. Let's kind of get the roster set up. Let's get the depth chart all situated and make sure that we got our rookies playing at the positions that they deserve to be playing. Of course, I'm going to have to move them up a little bit in the depth chart just because I want my rookies to get a little bit more playing time than they normally would. So, Griffin, for example, I want him to be the number 2 receiver, or actually let's have him play the number 1, and let's have Britt play the number 2 because let's remember, Griffin is 6'4", so I think he's more than capable of playing the 1. And we'll have Tavon Austin playing the 3. For those of you confused why I'm doing that, I think Austin's the perfect slot receiver. In terms of his elusiveness, his height, just everything, he's a great slot receiver. And I'll keep Stedman Bailey on the bench. I know it's a little bit weird, but I think that's just what's best for the team. So let's check it out. Let's go to defense. Let's make sure that our cornerback, what's his name, Raymond Brandon, let's make him our number 2 guy. Misclicked. Here we go. Let's move back. Raymond Brandon. There we go. Number 2 receiver. What the heck? I swear I just clicked Raymond Brandon. Am I messed up here? Here we go. There we go. Raymond Brandon, Janoris Jenkins is the number 1, and then Jeremy Lands are number 3. We signed him, and he's going to probably be a pretty nice slot corner. So I think that's what it's called, right? The slot corner. I don't know. The guy who covers the number 3 receiver. But I don't understand how all this works. Okay, guys, please don't judge me on my lack of knowledge on a few things. But and then of course on the special teams unit we have Hecker, who's a 98 overall with his confidence boost, and Tucker is Tucker. Which is 96 overall in terms of his confidence boost, so that's probably the best special teams unit in the league. And then in returning we have Tavon Austin, so that's just crazy. So we should be really good in almost every single aspect of the game. For our team upgrade, we're actually going to auto progress. I'll probably end up upgrading them at another time when I'm not recording, just because it'll be kind of boring for me to show you guys all the upgrades I do. It's just very slow and very kind of monotonous, so it's pretty boring. So let's move along to the mid-season, and then we'll check stats, because realistically what matters most to me is the way our team performs against CPUs, and then from there we can kind of check how the draft class is shaping out, and we can get an idea of which guys will be in the draft class, and primarily what positions will be in the draft class, because I know what positions we need to fill the most, and I'm hoping those guys will be in the draft class. I still think we need one more receiver, especially if that receiver we got didn't pan out. I think we might need to upgrade our offensive line a little bit more, but we'll probably work with that in the offseason instead of the draft, because we don't have time to worry about a O-lineman to actually develop, because that takes a long time. But in the actual draft itself, I think we'll probably worry. I'm trying to think about positions that need like development rather than a automatic piece. But let's first see what we can do in the offseason before we worry about what we can do in the draft. Of course, this episode is just going to be the actual simming of season 2. And kind of an idea of the stats, and see if we can make the playoffs. If we make the playoffs, maybe I'll play a couple of games just to see what this team is like. Maybe I'll play one playoff game. I highly doubt we'll win the Super Bowl in season 2. That would be way too fast of a rebuild, especially because I expect this to hopefully go for at least a few more episodes and just kind of see how quick we can make this rebuild happen. Hopefully we can get it done in about 3 or 4 seasons. I think the Rams were not even that bad of a team to start with. I think they just needed a few pieces, and I think even in the first season we filled a few of those holes pretty quickly. So let's check. We are 4-3. That's not bad by any stretch. We are number 2 in our division. And let's check how we're doing stat-wise. So I'm a little bit excited to see what's going on here. We have Connor Simon, who's only got a 57.4 passer rating. What the heck? 4 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Simon, what are you doing? You're supposed to be a beast. Rushing-wise, we got Todd Gurley, who's 8 touchdowns already, so he's going beast mode. We'll have to figure out something that's going on with Simon, though, because that's weird. I don't know what's going on here. Good news is Tavon Austin is actually leading the team in receptions and receiving yards. The bad news is Caesar Griffin's not panning out either. What the heck? 14 receptions, 162 yards. That's terrible. That's probably partially in fact though, because our quarterback's not throwing it good at all. Raymond Brandon is number 2 in the team for tackles, so at least he's doing a good job. He's got 1 interception, returned it for 24 yards, and I guess that's good. So Raymond Brandon's actually not doing that bad. I can deal with that performance, but we're not going to give up on a quarterback after 1 year. Typically what you have to do is in the first year or 2, you have to work on their awareness and things of that nature, because that's usually what makes the quarterback play better during simulations. And if we haven't worked on his awareness, then he's probably going to still be kind of bad. So let's upgrade him. Let's see what his awareness is, and let's see if we can upgrade that. His awareness, oh, they've already apparently used his XP. I think I accidentally clicked auto progress players, but his awareness is at a 70. If we can get that to the 80s or 90s, I think we'll see a whole new type of Simon. So let's sim to playoffs, and maybe we'll make it. Who knows? At 4-3, I think if we can finish out the season about 9-7, maybe we have a chance. I'm not quite sure, but I think 9-7 might be good enough to make the playoffs. And well, I guess we'll find out. Why even make quick assumptions when realistically, what do we really have to wait for? We'll just continue to move on. So looking at it, I think this will actually be one of our quicker episodes. We're moving through this pretty quickly, and that's basically just because in the first season sim we actually had to create our owner and everything, but in this sim all it is a simulation. Nothing really crazy is going on here, just because of the fact that what can you really do in the playoffs? I mean, I didn't want to make any big trades once again, because I never think trading is the answer for a big rebuild, just because first off, you got to think about who you're going to trade for. You got to think about what pieces you're willing to trade away, and I just don't know who I'm willing to part with just yet. I think we might need to part with one of those left ends pretty soon, because we have Chris Long and we have that other guy, and I don't know who exactly is starting, because both of them are like the same overall, and they're both in the mid to high 80s, and there's no real reason to have two mid to high 80s left ends without trading one of them for another big piece. So maybe we'll trade for a pretty big cornerback. If we can trade for a guy like Patrick Peterson or a guy like Josh Norman or somebody like that, that would be crazy for a cornerback, especially because I think our secondary is probably our biggest what's that called? Our biggest weakness. But we'll check closely at our team stats, and then that'll probably give us an idea of how our team rushing is doing, our team offense, our team defense, and that'll give us the best idea possible of what needs the biggest improvement. So moving on here to the end of the season, we're almost there. Week 17 is about to be simulated. Let's see if we make the playoffs. I think we might have a chance. I don't know how hard our schedule is going to be in the second half, but hopefully we made it in the second year. That'd be a really good sign for things to come. So let's see. We're just about to finish week 17. We're about to advance to the playoffs. I don't know why this is always the longest week that takes to advance, but we're getting there. And I think what we're going to do after this, immediately after this sim ends, we're going to look at our team stats and see what needs to be fixed the most, because we can't fix our team without knowing what needs to be fixed, of course. So looking at our team, Simon's got a little bit more XP, but 730, it's honestly like he didn't even do anything this season. And he probably didn't. He had 4 touchdowns, 9 interceptions last time we saw him, so I doubt it got much better from there. Let's see, where's his awareness? 70. Let's get that up to a 72. So overall didn't increase, but he's 85 overall already, so it's not that bad. Let's check around though. We have, what's his face? Tavon Austin, who I think had a pretty big season. You know, before we even make assumptions as to who did good, because I'm assuming all these things based off midseason. I just checked right there. I saw it in the corner of my eye. We actually finished 7-9, so that's probably not good enough for a playoff spot. Connor Simon, 10 touchdowns, 17 interceptions. It's not terrible. It really isn't terrible. It just wasn't what I expected. Todd Gurley finished the second half of the season with only 2 touchdowns, so that's kind of depressing. I expected a pretty huge season out of him too. Caesar Griffin finished off much better than he started. He probably just needed to click into the zone, get a better idea of as to how the NFL game feels like. And of course, I'm not going to give up on him, because he was a big guy. We spent our top pick on him, and I think he's going to pan out. We just give him time. So Raymond Brandon finished top 3 in tackles. That's awesome. He finished with 2 interceptions, 38 total interception return yards. No defensive touchdowns, but nobody on our team got a defensive touchdown, so that's not really that big of a concern. And let's see. We were able to get the same amount of sacks last season that we were able to get, or the same amount of sacks this season as last season. Pretty close. We got 7 sacks from Aaron Donald and Chris Long, and then 11.5 from Robert Quinn. So pretty dominant defensive lineman. I think we have probably the best defensive line in the league, honestly. When you look at our ability just to get to the quarterback, it's just crazy. So Tavon Austin had a pretty good year in terms of returning yards, and I guess punt returns were all right too. But I don't really know what else we need to do. We need to look at team stats. I completely forgot to do that. We'll check if we made the playoffs. I'm about 95% sure that we didn't. Offensive yards, I think it just said right there, we're 31st in the league. Let's check one more time. We are, one more time. Total yards, we are 4th worst in the league. That's an issue. So let's look at our passing yards. We are 2nd worst in passing yards, and we are bottom 8 or so in rushing yards. That's a pretty huge issue. In terms of rushing touchdowns, we weren't that bad. 21's pretty good. So we're about middle of the pack right there. Defense, though, let's check how our defense did. They're probably what actually made us even 7-9 is our defense. So Rams, defensive yards, we're actually not that impressive. We're like bottom 10. So pass yards, we are pretty good. Our pass defense is great, which is something I expected. Or actually, no, it's bad. It's bad. We're looking at the most passing yards allowed. I thought it was going to be good because we had a great pass rush, but I guess it wasn't. Our rushing game is going to be, yeah, like middle of the pack too. Oh my goodness. We just need so much work everywhere, I guess. I don't really know what the issue is. What? Did we succeed in anything? I mean, we had a decent field goal or a red zone percentage, I guess, but for the most part, it looks like we struggled a lot on different sides of the ball, and I think there's a lot of work we need to do, obviously, because there's obviously a lot of holes in different areas. But I thought I fixed a lot of the holes, and I didn't expect my defense to be bad, so I don't know what part of my defense is actually struggling, so I don't really know how to fix it. But Bernadette is now at 87 overall, so we got the right guard figured out. I think we need to get our tackles figured out. The 76 and 75 is not going to cut it. Our receivers, we probably want one more big guy, hopefully in free agency. You know what? Let's... man, I really want to get the free agency video up here too, because this is a really short video, but I think we just don't have enough time. But luckily, the next episode should come pretty soon, and I'm pretty excited to bring that to you guys, because I'm expecting to have probably the biggest free agency we're going to have this next year, because we need to be a championship contender soon. Strong safety McDonald got injured, so maybe that's part of the reason we struggle too. Who knows? Who really knows? Who cares? If you guys enjoyed, please click the like button below. Make sure to comment your opinion of this series and why do make it interesting in the comment section below. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Stay tuned to this series and other series I got going on my channel. And make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Stay tuned to this series and other series I got going on my channel. What? Did I just say that twice? I don't even know what I just said. Honestly, I'm out of it. This has been a long day of rebuilding. So, please recommend some guys you'd like to see added to the team. Recommend through with the roster you're seeing so far what positions you think need work, because I just don't see it. I can't realize the issues. Just maybe I'm blinded by my likeage for some players. I'm being a little bit biased, but if you guys see some issues that you definitely think need to be fixed, please comment them down below so I can fix them soon. And that's about it. Thank you guys so much for all your support. Thank you guys for staying so supportive for all the series I've been making. And I just want to say thank you guys for that. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.